Hi, Sagittarius. Let's do your Sagittarius and yellow butterfly people. How are you feeling on the inside? There are yellow butterflies everywhere here after days of rain. Two of Pentacles and the Death card. How you're feeling on the inside. And how that makes you act on the outside. The Star. Lovely. And what's at the basis of this reading? The Tower. And then a whole load of other cards I'm not going to take. The Tower was the one in my hand, and the others I didn't see. And what's happened in the recent past? What's happened in the recent past? What's happened in the recent past? A lovely new start with the Ace of Pentacles. And a potential outcome for this collective of Sagittarians and yellow butterfly people. Lovely. The Lovers and the Hermit. Fantastic. And what's coming in the near future? The Fool. Oh, all the majors are coming. Gosh, we've got lots of majors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and an ace. Wow. And your attitude. What's the attitude of Sagittarius? And another major of the Chariot. Amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Amazing. That's your attitude. Fast and furious on your mythic quest. And your environment. King of Wands, the Hierophant, the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, and the Queen. That's interesting. They come like that. The King and Queen are either side of the Hierophant. And then we've got the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. So something to do with that partnership of the King and Queen of Swords, King and Queen of Wands in relation to the Hierophant is worrying you. Okay, that's your environment. And your hopes and fears. That's far too many. The hopes and fears, please. Hopes and fears. Judgment. You want an epiphany. And where is this leading? What's the outcome? 3 cards. The 4 cards. King of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, and 6 of Pentacles. That's a pretty lovely, rich outcome. Beautiful. Love that for you. So, because it ends up with so much wealth, I wonder whether the Tower that is the moment in the basis of your reading, which is what we're really looking at, has been to do with something to do with work that's been built on the wrong foundations. I think so. It's to do with work. So, in your interior, we see you balancing, juggling after a death, after a rebirth moment. You've been juggling your options. This is a stage card. Those little lines at the bottom near his green shoes indicate that it's just a stage. And this beautiful infinity symbol in green. So I'm seeing his green shoes, his green infinity symbol. It's quite jolly and fun, and actually you don't really mind juggling things. It's just a stage, and it's coming after a death. So there is a rebirth of sorts. And what do I see when I look at this? Let's put the red glasses on. The nostrils of the horse. That are like a little symbol, like a little glyph. What does that mean? Is it an astrological symbol for something like Libra? I'm not sure. I'll look that up. And how yellow the death bones are. Yellowed bones. And the sun. And his spurs. Okay, so there's been a death. There's been a change, a transformation, and now you're juggling this new reality, perhaps with the bits of the old reality, or you're just juggling to understand it. But how does this make you act on the outside as the Star? I'm not sure how much of this I'm allowed to show you. I'm seeing all the little pink birds pink flowers behind her, perhaps because there's lots of little purpley pink flowers out here. So it sort of feels like spring. It feels like the healing that comes after the Tower that we know is in the basis. So you're in a period of healing and restoration after this terrible, not terrible, but yeah, towers never feel that much fun. They're usually quite quick, but they're not much fun because something has got to go quickly and it's a bit of a shock, and we don't normally see it coming. And so after that we see her, I like her foot levitating on the water there, do you see? I wonder whether you're now in a position, so, well, it's clear, you're healing after this Tower moment, and you're getting yourself aligned to your star of what you really, really want, of bright hopes and wishes. And the Tower, what do I see in the Tower? Yellow curly hair, yellow hair, red shoes, lightning, the crown being knocked off, and 3 windows full of fire. So something to do with fire or rulership, blonde people, I don't know. Anyway, you'll know if you've had a Tower moment. And what's happened in the recent past is you've been offered a new beginning with this Ace of Pentacles. So probably because everything else has been knocked down, you've been offered the chance for a new start. I can see something off the side of, oh no, it's just one of these white flowers, beautiful white flowers, and the 2 mountains. So yeah, you've been offered a new start with the Ace of Pentacles, probably because, as I said, everything has come down. And a potential outcome is you using the star from the star card in the Hermit and finding your way across those mountains that we see in the Tower and at the back of the Death card. No, we see them in the back of the Ace, through that door, through that garden gate area, or sort of the bower there. So we see you as potentially up on those. So you've taken the new opportunity of the Ace of Pentacles, and now you're finding your path, and you're wandering up these mountains, getting all the wisdom, finding your true path, and then you need to come down. And what you would do then is partner with life, take a new opportunity, take a choice that you're being offered from a divine source, and get back into some sort of Eden, some sort of garden. So that's really, really beautiful. This is a big time for you, Sagittarius. And coming up in the near future, another fresh start with the Fool card. I mean, starting something enthusiastically without fear. The mountains, represent all your achievements and challenges that are coming, but you're going at it with a really fresh energy, little luggage with you, barely anything in that tiny knapsack, and a beautiful white under garment, which indicates your purity of your mission, and his belt, which is little gold beads. Yeah, so wonderful. Fresh starts after a death, an ending. Your attitude is you want to be on your mythic quest. Look at those stars above him again. The star in the star card, the star in the Hermit card, and now the stars above your canopy of your head. You want to follow that bright hopes and dreams, and you want to go on a fast and furious journey. You're even wearing a star in your crown. That's it. You want to commit to this now. The red lips of the sphinxes are standing out to me, and all the slightly sort of white version of a kind of what do I want to say, tiger pattern on his chest, and another star above the square, just below his neck. So really following what you've learned through this dissolution of the Tower moment, and you're prepared to split your laser beam. We see that 2 of Pentacles. You're prepared to go in 2 different directions, dealing with what's been and finishing up on that and going for your new thing, or 2 different ways that you can live your life in the future. You're prepared to do that. And your environment, this busy environment. So the King and Queen of Wands are at either side of the Hierophant. So bringing some passion to what is morally correct. It's like parts of yourself encircling the new morally correct direction that you need to go in, and using all your wandy passion and creativity, but to go on the right path. and they're in partnership, and they're pushing forward like two beams of that chariot, and that energy then overcomes this Eight of Swords, where you might be victimizing yourself, and the Ten of Wands, where you feel a bit overwhelmed by what you've got to get done now. If you can get in partnership the King and Queen of Wands and the Hierophant, that's such a potent energy. It will push through the feeling of obsession and burden and overwhelm, and also the feeling of being victimized by your own thoughts. That's your key to it, I think. But it's as an environment. These could also be characters that you have around you in your work environment, you know, partners who are very, very creative, but also in the right moral stance. Yeah, so it could be either. And then in your hopes and fears, judgment, you want this rebirth. You want the moment of epiphany, where you know exactly what to do, and where parts of yourself that are long buried will be reborn. The trumpet and the noise, something to do with music, sound therapy, that might help you to be reborn, or a song that you've loved. Strange for me to say those things. Everybody's got blonde hair here. It's funny, I keep seeing the blonde hair, you know, the blonde hair on the figures in the tower. There's a lot of blonde energy, so I don't know if that relates to you. And where it's all going, working hard after a period of rest and recalibration, which we see in the star. So the Four of Swords, he rescues, he sort of restores himself after a battle. You then start working hard again on what it is you really love, in order to bring you to great wealth. So this rebirth represents something very, very lucrative for you. With the King of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, it feels as if you're headed towards something that's going to be very, very lucrative. Once you've healed, then knuckled down and carried on doing whatever it is you're so great at, we suddenly see great established wealth and looking after everyone around you, and this reciprocity, this fairness, where all is right, where you're able to get what you deserve, but you're also able to share it with those around you. It's a really abundant energy. I absolutely love it. Let's cap it with a card from the Enchanted Tarot. I mean, I think it's quite a clear reading. We've got two. We've got Moonlight, so working your way through the... these two are both talking about feeling unsure. So the Moon, and then this Child of Boons, who's the Page of Pentacles, is talking about, in this particular one, he doesn't know whether or not to take one of these sweets. Does that get him out of the forest where he's lost, or is that the wrong thing to do? That's what he's thinking. He feels unsure and a little bit naive. And the Moonlight one is all about the fears and lack of clarity at night. Let's read the Moon. Yes, secrecy and mystery, the dream world, intuition, something hidden from view. When the moonlight shines upon your reading, take it as a sign to let intuition rule over logic for a time. Pay attention to your dreams, which may be full of importance. Spend time outside in the dark with no intention other than to be open to the mystery. So both of these cards talk about feeling a bit lost. So maybe it's saying to you, don't worry if you're not quite sure where you are yet. There might be a sense of being lost. And if this card, this is the Child of Boons, isn't a particular person, it can mean a time of study, or a sign to pay more attention to material security and prosperity, which we know you're doing, but you might feel a bit lost. We know that that's what's coming for you, but you might feel a bit lost in the process. So I think it's just, to anyone who's here who's thinking, but I don't feel that I'm reborn yet, it's saying it's okay to feel lost for a while. And then from the Shining Tribe deck, Place of Trees. That's fun. I haven't seen this one for a while. So, Place of Trees. Birds, trees, Place of Trees. Meditation, quiet, inner peace, a chance to revitalize emotions through a time of withdrawal, an actual place that we can go to feel peaceful away from the pressures of life. Well, that's sort of this energy, being lost in this dreamlike energy as well from the moon. Oh no, I'm reading the wrong one again. I did this the other day. This is the place of rivers. No, the place of trees. No, of trees. Sorry about that. Growth, feeling safe and rooted, a positive environment, good health, friendship and joy, knowledge. The Genesis story is actually more complex than most of us learned at Sunday school. For example, so this shows the Genesis story. God has set the true trees in the middle of the garden. However, he only tells Adam to avoid the tree of knowledge. God said nothing about the tree of life. When Adam and Eve have tasted the knowledge, then God speaks of preventing them from eating life. This implies that the tree of life was somehow invisible to Adam and Eve until they first had eaten from the tree of knowledge. Some rabbis and others who have pondered this story have suggested that the tree of life was inside the tree of knowledge. Knowledge makes life possible. The place of trees is a state of mind or even a natural place where you feel safe and natural, and where knowledge makes us come more alive. Okay, so the Child of Boons is about learning and knowledge. Interesting. So it's a sanctuary, a sacred grove in the heart where we can feel our lives flourish like a healthy tree in the light of the sun. The picture comes from a miniature from an ancient Crete, pre-Greek Europe. We see a goddess sitting by her tree of life in her garden of paradise. She holds 3 flowers in her hand. So for the waning, waxing and full moon. We see also a worshipper with a double axe, which is not a weapon. According to the archaeologist, the Marja Gimbutas, the Labrys, which is this axe, this double axe that we see there next to the tree above the 2 women, is actually derived from a butterfly. Now, the butterfly that we see all over the Queen of Swords, is she here? No. Butterfly, transformation. The curves may have symbolized the presence of the waxing and the waning of the moon. Yet the woman by the tree is not simply a moon goddess, for above the triple river of light in the sky we see a sun as well as the moon. That's right at the top. So she's the goddess of life and death, and in all places where we feel whole and at peace and rooted in her lives are her garden. In the card, we also see 2 trees, recalling the tree of life and the knowledge of in Eden. Before the Genesis story of disobedience and punishment, the myth of paradise told of the goddess with a companion snake who gave her worshippers a fruit or flower of eternal life. Statues of the goddess from Crete show her arms wrapped with serpents. The second tree, the tree of knowledge, tells us that by joining ourselves to the sacred, becoming like trees in the garden does not mean mindless vegetation, but rather genuine growth and knowledge and the development of individuality as well as good health. So we're talking about a place where you feel safe and rooted, and that's where you end up. So maybe it's just saying through, I think these extra cards are saying through all the moment of no clarity, you are ending up in a place of great rootedness and safety, which we can see with all those pentacles at the end. I'm just going to take some teeny tiny tarot to clarify at the end of this lovely reading. Sagittarius, yellow butterfly. Ah, that's where the butterfly was. I was thinking, where have we heard butterfly recently? So, to get to this amazing wealth and this beautiful manifestation, the Sun and the 10 of Pentacles, remember your period of rest. Gosh, so now we've got the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the 10 of Pentacles, we've got manifestation, and it's just saying there's going to be a period of, we know, confusion, and we know rest in the Star card, in this moment where we have to get recalibrated. But really, I don't think there's much to add. It's just saying great manifestation, great wealth, great value. You're always valued with this bougie queen of the Queen of Pentacles. You're paid fairly. There's a lot about being paid fairly. So go through this confused period of the moon and the child of moons where you're lost in a forest or in the night by that pool. And then find yourself in this bountiful garden where things are all really good, where you're suddenly being paid really fairly. I think this is a great reading about wealth. Amazing. Thank you for stopping by.